Hi and welcome to part 4 of this tutorial of how to draw a blue healer. This is the time-lapse version, so if you want to look at the real-time version, please do head over to my Patreon channel where you can draw along in real time. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just going through the different colours that you can see on the right side of the face, and I've mapped in chunks of different colour with the pastel pencils. And the reason I've done this with the pencils rather than with the sticks is just simply because of the amount of detail that you're able to get in with that finer tip. So there's lots of different color changes here, there's lots of different direction changes here. And so I wanted to go in with that finer tip of the pastel pencil just to have a bit more precision control about exactly where I was putting those markings. The sticks would be fine as well. You can snap the sticks in half and then you can get a finer point on them. You can do that, but I just prefer to use the pencils. So once I had that base layer in place, I then just continued to go in with those pencils and just start to build up the layers, going mostly from dark to light. So building up those darker colors and then gradually going up to the lighter colors. But in some instances, as you just saw the darker color coming out from under the eye, I then went in with the darker color on top. And it's a good way of going back and forth between the darks and the lights to try and bring them in working together so that it looks a bit more realistic. So that if you were to put your hand through that dog's fur, you would see all these different colors interlaying together. And that's what you're trying to achieve when you're building up these colors on the page. So you can do a mixture of dark to light, light to dark. Obviously, if you're putting darker colors on lighter colors, they're still going to look just as dark as they would. But if you try and put lighter colors on top of darker colors, they're not going to be as vibrant as they would have been had you had a lighter layer underneath. So you do want to think about that the way in which you layer your pencils will have an impact on how the overall piece looks at the end, because all of these different colors that you're layering together make that final image, that final color. So I'm just still going in with the pastel pencils and just overlapping, getting all those loose sort of wiry hairs in, just so it's got that lovely sort of free, realistic look, so it doesn't look like a puzzle piece. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going in and starting to get that body area in. So I've gone in with the soft pastel sticks and I put in the basic color, basic shape that I want. And it's all about just giving yourself a map to work with, a guide to work with, so that you've got something to then work on top of, to be able to see what you're doing with the pencils, which way you're going, what color you're using. It's just a way of helping your brain to work out what's happening next and to give the paper a nice solid grounding for you to then work on top of with the pencils, because those soft pastel sticks do make a lovely vibrant layer underneath which set the tone for the rest of the piece. So I created a bit of shadow there underneath the chin, so you can see you've got that sort of darker color coming underneath, and then the lighter color is starting to swoop out towards the sort of the edge of the neck and the chest. So you've got those lighter colors coming in. So you're thinking about not only the colors that you're using for the colors of the dog, but also where the light is and where those shadows are falling. So again, I'm using the soft pastel sticks just to get that base layer in. And in the same way that I use the pencils up above, this shows you that you can get those different colors in and still get a level of precision in if you use the soft pastel sticks instead of the pencils to do it when you have lots of different colors sort of interlocking together. So this does show you that there are two quite effective methods to get the base layer down when you've got these sort of different colors sort of all together. But what I was demonstrating with the face was very much that you needed a bit more precision because there are lots of direction changes of the hair, and you have to be more precise about exactly what you're doing to create that sort of that face shape, the skull shape underneath. Whereas with the body, you've got a bit more freedom to get those colors in. It doesn't have to be as precise and minute in detail because you've got the longer hair. So you've got bigger chunks of hair all sort of flowing together. So you can have those bigger chunks of color underneath and not necessarily representing the direction in which those hairs are going so precisely to begin with. You still want to put your marks down in the direction in which that hair is going. I say to always do that because you're creating something that will help you as you go through. You need to have that base layer going in the direction that you want to go in and continue in, because it will help you the more you go through the drawing. So the higher up you get in the layers, you're not fighting something that is there's underneath in your base layers. So I'm just finishing off the body here. So I've got those darker colors in and I'm going over the light colors, and I'm just doing those sort of flowing bits of hair just coming over and overlapping over again. So it doesn't look like it's a solid chunk. So you've got that sort of free movement of the lovely loose hairs. And then here I'm just getting in some whiskers, and then that's it. So I really hope you enjoyed this. I hope it's been helpful. Again, if you'd like to follow along in real time, please do have a look at my Patreon channel. I provide all of the reference photos and a list of all the materials that I've used. So I will see you for another time lapse soon. Take care, guys. Bye.